Hello, hello, welcome, please come in. It's time to dive back into the worlds of Final Fantasy for another job class comparison series. And this time, it's time to finally getting around to the speediest of boas, the Thief and Ninja. Thieves are fast with decent, but not great physical stats. And we'll be starting in the original, Final Fantasy I, albeit the Pixel Remaster version, as always, because it is easier to access and play. And I'm lazy, so we hop in, characters already named, and oh, right. I forgot Thieves can't actually steal in this version. Stealing wasn't a thing in the original game, so they just didn't include steal in the Pixel Remaster, despite it being present in the GBA and PSP remakes. Oh well, my vague recollection is that there wasn't anything to steal that was particularly useful anyway, which does make sense since it wasn't in the original game at all. And I start by doing just a little bit of grinding. I'll need the experience to fight in the first boss fight, and the gil to buy some equipment and healing items, because healing items will be my only source of healing. Couple levels gained, and it's into the Chaos Shrine to face the first boss, Garland. This fight is never that difficult, and Thieves can easily just attack repeatedly to finish the fight. One nice thing about Thieves is that they have higher speed than the other classes, so they are more likely to go before bosses. It's still basically fully random, but it's slightly more random in my favor. Head out, watch a bridge rebuilding cutscene, then a second cutscene. Also, who puts white text on a light blue background? What is that? Is the default font better? Anyway, time to head over to Pravoka. One really nice thing about finally not having any spellcasters is that money is way less important. BK has some pirates that attack me, but I can make short work of them. It does get a bit closer than it should have, but that's only because I forgot to rest at the inn after the run over. But that means I have a boat, and I can make the very easy boat ride over to Alfheim. I was kind of expecting to get better armor at some point. Like, I get that they are thieves, but I really would have preferred them to take a bit less damage all the time. It is really nice to be able to hop into fights and not have to worry about spell slots, though. This is the first run I've done of this game with no spellcasters, isn't it? Neat! I mean, that won't stay true for long, but for now. Into the Marsh Cave to grab lots and lots of shiny treasure, most of which is of nebulous importance. I guess the money is good, at least for now. Okay, no stalling. Let's do the Pisco Demon fight. These are the first real boss in the game, because despite looking like mages, they actually hit like trucks. And the fight is not without its casualties. But all in all, Thieves managed to hold their own pretty well. I do need to remember that being faster than the enemy means I can at least try healing items in combat. It's just usually not that worth it. Okay, next boss time, Astos. Astos does big damage and can impose a lot of status effects. He also loves to hit the entire party with big magic. Good news is that he is very fragile though, and Thieves do actually deal decent damage. Okay, I'll take it. Matoya's Eye over to Matoya to grab the Jolt Tonic, take the Jolt Tonic back to Alfheim to cure the prince and get the Mystic Key. This lets me open locked doors all over the place. So now it's time to do some proper thievery. Everything out of Alfheim, then over to the Dark Elf Castle to absolutely get the crap kicked out of my thieves. Yeah, these ghosts love to paralyze the party, and because I have no multi-target attacks, I can't do anything other than attack very quickly and hope it works. Which it does, but then I get ambushed by mummies in the chest next to it. Okay, let's give this another try. It honestly comes down to a bit of luck at this point. I really don't have any strategy other than turn on auto battle and hope basic attacks are enough to win the fight. Ooh, Falchion, neat. Any equipment to buff any of my stats would be great though. Then over to Loot Marsh Cave, which involves beating up several more sets of Pisco Demons, which is so much fun. And back to Cornelia to loot even more chests. Most notable because this chest has the nitro powder I need to advance to the next stage of the story. Which I can run over to Mount Dwerger to drop off the nitro powder to clear a path through the continent. There are some shiny items here to add to my collection though. Love free stuff. Terraforming complete and I can sail over to Melmond, which has some new equipment. Emphasis on some. This game just does not want to give any class other than warriors halfway decent armor. Anyway, next destination is the Cavern of Earth. This area is pretty simple and the constant monsters and chests are not particularly difficult thanks to the speed of my thieves. We love being fast. How much of this equipment is actually useful to me? None of it, I think? Alright, it's vampire time, which is a boss. The music says so, but it barely matters. This fight is debatably easier than Garland, if only because of how much later in the game it is. Then over to this cave to give this guy the ruby he so desperately needs. Then this old man gives me the earth rod and it's all the way back to the earth cavern to pick up where I left off. This game really does love its lengthy errands. The monster chests from this point on do become more dangerous because it's not just the same enemy copy-pasted into every single one. That makes this trek a little less repetitive. Still repetitive, but it's an improvement. And next up is the first true boss of the game, Lich. Good news, I deal okay damage. Most of the time. Bad news, Lich does nothing but spam all target magic of the hefty damage or status variety. The damage is pretty bad, but the statuses are actually worse. Slow is basically a death sentence because it drops my damage to nothing, and I can't cure it. I have a few options for better strategies, but all of them would take a decent chunk of time to unlock. Instead, I think it's time for me to just slam my head against this wall with auto battle on and hope it works out. Oh, right, potions exist. I should probably use those, especially when I have one character not slowed. Still doesn't win the fight. Okay, you know what? I think it's just leveling up time. Lich isn't a complicated fight, but I don't have any exciting abilities at this point in the game. I will, soon, but for now, spamming attacks is really all that I have access to without a lot of work. So let's just see if a few levels of grinding can get my damage high enough to actually win this fight, shall we? Okay, we're back in it, just a few levels gained, and the damage I'm dealing seems higher, but it's also all over the place, and that would be slow on the entire party. You know, if I crit, the damage is still okay, this might work. It might also be super tedious. There we go, now I can try again. I really wasn't expecting Lich to be this much of a wall, but I guess it makes sense. I think this is the attempt. I really just need to get lucky that Lich doesn't use slow at all. I have a huge stockpile of high potions, which aren't great, but are still decent. And there we go. It only took, 6 attempts? Could be better, but not terrible. The next fiend on the list is Merilith, which bluntly is not going to go well with my characters the way they are. So, sail over to Crescent Lake, buy some better armor. Still not great armor, but every improvement is an improvement. Wow, thanks for that amazing insight, Zev. The next destination should be Mount Gulg, but that is not where I will be heading. Instead, I take the canoe trip over to the Ice Cavern. This cavern has a number of very shiny items to locate. Most important for my immediate situation is the Levastone after easily defeating this eye thing. This can be taken to this unmarked desert where nothing is to unlock the airship. I can then head over to this caravan to buy the ferry I'll need later, and while I'm here I should also pick up 20 of every tonic I can buy. These give nice status upgrades to the target and might be useful. Given what's about to happen, it may also not be useful. Into the Citadel of Trials, play a fun game of get teleported around while looking at a map. Pick up some spell items that might be useful, but probably won't be. The healing staff is specifically very useful in some instances, and some of these other items can cast spells I probably don't care about. The boss of this area is the Zombie Dragon Duo, which are basically just regular enemies with regular enemy HP, so not really sure why I should care. And then it's over to the various entrances to the Dragon Caves to pick up a bunch of random items that are not garbage, but also not that useful. What I'm actually here to do is turn in the rat tail to upgrade my thieves into ninjas, which means an improvement in my stats, equipment access, and frankly, most important, black magic. Ninjas can cast up to level 4 black magic, and while they are not as proficient as black or red mages, who cares? Ninjas get access to the only 2 spells that actually matter, haste and temper. I do fully kit out their spell access since I have more than enough money to do so, but I don't think I cast anything else the entire game. Into Gaia to release the ferry, which is not what I came here to do. I actually came here to buy better weapons. I can't actually afford the armor I want, because it turns out I didn't have as much money as I thought I did. And while I'm here, I might as well pick up the Oxy Ale. Okay, that incredibly long side quest completed, and it's finally time to head over to Mount Gulg. For the many encounters here, I set up one character to use the healing staff while everyone else attacks, mostly just to make sure everyone stays topped off. Is there anything in these chests I even want? Boring easy dungeon done, and it's boss time. Merilith hits hard and has a very high defense, and I'm stupid and forgot to rest to regain spell slots. That's fine, that's why I bought all these strength tonics. Merilith is generally fought before you can even get class upgrades, so this fight is very easy. I even get up to 4-digit damage for the final hit, which is exciting. But there's really no time to mess around. It's time to start shredding through the latter half bosses, because I have buffing spells and it is time for everything to die. Next destination is the Sunken Shrine, which other than having really nice music, is pretty boring to navigate. I do have to pick up the Rosetta Stone while I'm down here to unlock the next progression, and my first ribbon. We love resistance to all elements. It's great. And the Giant's Gloves, which lets one character cast Saber on themselves for a buff to attack and accuracy. I should actually check sometime if that accuracy buff is actually worth the turn to use it. Oh well, all the items I care about are acquired, and it's next boss time. Kraken. And the plan is the same plan I will be using forever. Buff one character to an unstoppable killing machine and hope it's fast enough to win the fight. And that was a one-shot, so yeah, that was in fact fast enough. So, that was really easy, and I expect the game is going to continue that way for a bit. I am a bit concerned about Chaos, though. He is way overtuned in this version of the game, so we'll see if he causes more problems. Anyway, back to Gaia, where I can finally buy Protect Rings for the whole party. Then over to Melman to learn Lufenian from this creep in a graveyard, and then a boat ride over to this waterfall cave. This gets me the Warp Cube, my second ribbon, and a Defender Sword, which is nice and can be equipped by Ninja. I kind of forgot how wide the weapon pool for ninjas was. Next, it's time to chat with some Lufenians to grab the Chime, which I can take to Mirage Tower. There are a bunch more treasures here to grab and a Blue Dragon to murder, and it's warp to the Flying Fortress time. Oh, there's a Protect Ring here. Guess I didn't need to buy 4. Oh well. And then the final item of note, the third ribbon. There should really just be 4 of these. Oh well, what can you do? Let me take a second to make sure my strongest weapon is on my 4th character to minimize the chance they get attacked. I really don't want to lose my buffs mid-fight. Hello, Tiamat. May I introduce you to my many ninjas and their many buffs? Okay, Tiamat, that is a lot of damage. I mean, it's not enough damage to actually stop me, but that fight was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Oh, it's because the game didn't equip my ribbons when I optimized equipment. Gonna need to be sure to fix that in future boss fights. And with all 4 fiends dead, nothing left to do but head to the Chaos Shrine for an endgame boss rush. And first on that list is Lich. This fight can be a bit scary because Lich loves to cast Flare, which is not reduced by ribbons. Kill can also be scary, if it hits. And while Lich does manage to stop half the party, it does not include my buffed up attacker, so that is 1 fiend down. Next fiend on the list is Merilith. Same as before, she hits hard and can be fairly scary, but my strategy to deal with her is exactly the same. And there is simply no reason to do anything else. Well, actually, evasion might help mitigate her physical attacks. And it does, but probably not enough to justify the amount of time it took to set up. Kraken, my bud, you going to attack or just fail to do anything the entire fight? Okay, Thundara was not scary. That hit was scary. Too bad it was not on a character that actually needs to stay alive. And that is Kraken down, and that means I can grab the Masamune, the strongest sword in the game. Just in time for the scariest of fiends, Tiamat. Good news is the Masamune is much stronger than prior weapons. Bad news is Tiamat can hit like a truck, and has a lot more HP than I remembered. I mean, it's not actually enough to stop me from winning the fight, but it is something. And that means it's just chaos time. He hits like a truck, can devastate the entire party with powerful unblockable spells, and he has like 3 times as much HP as he should. Good news is he doesn't immediately destroy the party. Bad news is he uses Kiraga to undo all my work, and then kills my party. Yeah, that's about what I expected. I am very under-leveled for this fight. I'm not even level 40 yet, so let's do a bit of grinding. Honestly, just a bit more survivability and damage should be enough to see this fight won. So hold please, we will be resuming shortly. Some levels gained, it's time to hop back in and see how this goes. As per normal, there's really no reason to worry about defense at all. Chaos just deals too much damage for me to possibly mitigate it. As evidenced here. Okay, more leveling time. Whee! Okay, more leveling done, and it's time to hop back in. There isn't really a second strategy here. Even if I manage to boost my evasion enough to mitigate Chaos's physical attacks, literally nothing will drop the damage of Flare, so it's time to all-out temper and attack. And the hits I'm dealing start to be pretty beefy. And while 2 ninjas do go down, I manage to get in a few final hits and bring down Chaos and his stupid bloated HP bar. And that was Final Fantasy I, beaten with only thieves and ninjas. And that went about how I expected. Pretty difficult right at the beginning when I was stuck with actually just using thieves, and then becoming pretty easy once I got ninja and all the buffing spells that entails. And then chaos. But I will have more to say about that in the summary video out in a few weeks. I did want to shout out that I do have a Patreon, linked in the description. I spend a lot of time making these videos, so if you enjoyed the video, want to support the channel, and are financially stable enough to do so, that exists. No pressure though, this channel is free to enjoy for everyone, and will remain that way. For now, if you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button. If you'd like to see more of this, feel free to subscribe. Hey, maybe leave a comment if you have something you'd like to say. But whatever you decide to do, have a safe trip home.